Now today I'm going to do something that I normally don't do and I probably won't do for a very long time again. This is going to be a song tutorial, or in other words, I'm going to be showing you guys how to play a song. Now you're probably wondering, oh, he's going to do a song tutorial, but I thought he's against that. Well, I get a lot of requests for this song. A lot of people really want to learn it. It's probably like this one song that everyone wants to learn. And it's pretty easy. It's easy enough for me to explain, yet like a beginner could go and start learning this piece, or an advanced person can take what I teach them later on, because I'm going to show you the easy part of it, and then I'm going to show you then you can, I'll leave that up to you to learn the hard part for yourself, because that things would get too complicated and it'd probably take up like about 2 hours to do a proper tutorial on the entire thing, and I don't really have that much time to do that, so sadly. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to show you guys. Have I built enough suspense? It's going to be Für Elise. Yeah, it's composed by Ludwig van Beethoven. Sadly, I can't really pronounce that properly. Ludwig van Beethoven. Whatever. Beethoven. Probably one of my more favorite composers. But yeah, so let's get into, first I'm going to show you guys the actual score so you can look at it. I'm going to give you guys a really detailed run through of what's happening, give you guys some ideas what to do with the piece, and then I'm also going to show you guys how to basically play the piece. Like, I'll take you guys to the piano and then I'm going to show you note by note how to play the piece. And then at the end, then I'll give you practice suggestions and stuff like that. Okay, so... Okay guys, so here is Für Elise. So it's Für Elise, and see how it says woo right here? That actually means without opus number. So it was composed without an opus number, so it's being assigned an opus number 59. And that's basically a way for a composer to catalog his works. So as you can see, it's composed by Ludwig van Beethoven. Okay, so basically, this piece, what I'm going to show you is the easy part of the piece. And I'm going to show you how you can end it so it'll actually sound like it's finished. But I'm going to bypass all this stuff here, these 30-second notes, the turn, and all that other stuff. Because if you try to play all the hard stuff with it, it turns into a grade 7 song, which is a sort of like a high-level intermediate piece. Or, yeah, and it's just, I don't really want to give all that work to someone who basically, you know, might not really know that much, and at the same time it'd be a lot of work for me to do that. So I'm basically just going to be showing the easy part and try to do a really detailed one, and then if you love the piece so much that you want to go on and learn the rest, you're very welcome to, and you can look up people playing the piece and try to figure out how this is supposed to go, okay, by listening to it. Okay, but basically I'm doing this is because pretty much anyone can play it. Like, you could play this as your first piece if you've never played piano almost that much. Like, probably after about 3 weeks you should be able to play this piece, and it won't be too hard for you. Okay, so first of all, I want to point out some things here. So basically this piece is made up of 2 sections that repeat back and forth over and over. So the first one here is the opening theme, and this has that famous pattern, da 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 da. That's this part right here. Now it goes over here, it stops, and then it just repeats the same thing again. But it has an alteration. So if you look here, we've got a C, an E, and an A. And then over here we have C, E, A. So these 2 bars, so this to here is exactly the same as that. So from here to here and here to here is exactly the same. But in between here is slightly different. So here we've got this little hand cross thing, that's actually exactly the same. But then see how this is going up? It's making an E major chord. And then here it goes D, then C, B, A. So it's actually going in a weird pattern here. It's going up, it's leaping up and then falling down, whereas this is just climbing up. So that signals the end of the first section. So this is the first section here. Okay? Now, the second section is the part that goes da 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 da. Now, for those of you who have seen me do this Für Elise tutorial before, like my first shoot of it, because now I'm doing everything, reshooting everything in high definition. I've actually figured out a better fingering pattern to do this that's actually way easier. So if you're wondering, I'm going to show that coming up once I start playing the notes. Okay, so moving along quickly. So how this is actually going to work is you're going to play through this first section once, then you're going to stop here, you're going to play this bar. Then you come back, then you play it again, and when you get to this part here, so when you get to here, then you're going to bypass bar this 1 and go to the 2, and that'll lead you into the second section. Then you go through this, you play that, and then you can go like this, because this part here is actually all back to the first section. So it's very easy, not very challenging. Like when you're going back through here, you're actually just leading yourself back into here. So you can loop this around over and over and over and over and over again. And then to end it, you bypass all this stuff here. And then you basically use this ending to end the piece. So you can pause it if you want to write that down or take a screenshot or whatever. And then you'll go through this. Da 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 dun 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 or dun 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 like that. So it's like this. Instead of like that. It goes like. That's me trying to play two hands with one hand. Anyway, so that's a very short breakdown of that piece. So you've got your first section, then you repeat the first section again, then you your second time through, then you go into the second section, dun, 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 which is sort of like this part that goes. And then that part that's going up. Okay, so that is, so it goes section 1, repeat section 1 again, then go to section 2, then go back to this first section. Then you can just, as you keep going, it'll lead you right back into, as you play here, you can basically lead yourself right back to this part right here. So as you finish this section right here, then you just go right back to right here. Because if you notice, this bar and this bar are identical. Okay? So it leads you back into this part, and then you can go, and then you just do this again. And then from then on, you're just basically playing from there to there, there to here, there to there, just like that. It's kind of like, I don't know, loop-de-loops or something, without the nausea and vomiting. Although if someone was vomiting from Für Elise, they would have to play it really badly, wouldn't they? Okay, anyway, so that is the whole notes part of it. Now let's get into the actual meat of the whole thing. Hopefully you guys are still with me and not being like, oh, he's still at the sheet music. Okay, so now I'm... Alright, so first thing I'm going to show you guys is the right hand, then I'll show you the left hand, and then I'll play it slowly hands together for the camera and show you what I'm doing and show you how to put it all together, because then I'm going to not be able to hold it, because I don't really have a third hand coming out of my stomach, right? Sadly, no. So I got to get my tripod to do it. Okay. So how we're going to do this is the starting, the whole famous part. The classic fingering, you could say, would be to do this. You're going to start on the E here, like here, and then you're going to go up to the D sharp with your with your fourth finger, just like that. So you're going to play the E a total of 3 times, and then you're going to play the C sharp or the D sharp twice. So like this. Like that. Once you do that, that's good. Now the common mistake when you do this, most people, they do this. Like that, and just sounds horrible. Don't do that. Don't be a victim. Okay, don't be a victim of, choppings or whatever, like an ear murder or something. Okay, what you want to do is hold your hand up at a level like this and play. Not like this. Okay? Because what happens is you'll get an inconsistent, and you'll get like this accent here, and you don't want that. You want these to sound very even, like this. Oh, that was bad. So. So that's the next part here. So we're going to do that 3 times. So hit the E 3 times, and then you're going to go like this. So 2 on the B, 4 on the D, then 3 on the C, and then A with 1. And when you do this, it should sound all very even and steady. Good, just like that. If you do it all like that, just sounds not the greatest. Holding my tongue there. Okay, so that, I would practice that quite a bit until you've got that down. In fact, I'd probably practice it probably just for the day, or even like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Make sure that you've got that down, because you're going to have to play that part so many times in this piece, like over and over and over and over and over again. So you need to get a good sound out of this. And it should always come back to the same speed, as if it's, like every time you hear this, it's like you're being reminded of a memory or something like that. Okay? So that's the first part. Gotta get my music in the right thing here. Okay, so now the second part. If we look up here, that was right here. Now what we're going to do is, it's pretty easy. It's actually going back and forth between two things. It's going tonic, dominant, and then tonic, dominant, like that sort of. I think this piece is written in A minor, is it not? Yeah, it is. Okay, so anyway. So the first one is, it's going to be a C, an E, and an A, just like that. Now, that's like the bar, so it's going to be like this. Now, this next note actually sounds like it's a part of the notes, but it's actually going to be part of the next bar. And this is very important, because in this piece right here, Beethoven has an overlap note, basically. So as we're going up, we get to the top of this note, and simultaneously the left hand is starting to play. So it's a way of sort of like weaving the hands together like this. So it's like they take turns right here. They're just going to take turns. He's just going to take off where they left off and keep going. Now, how this should sound really well played is as if this is one hand playing all the way up. My poor singing there. I'm sorry. Don't hurt you. I didn't want to hurt your ears. Okay. Anyway, so you're going to go up like this. Now, what'll really help is if you get some arm movement going on like this. Now, I know it looked all frilly and girly and whatnot, and you're like, are you really sure you want to do this, Andrew? Anyway, what you want to do is you want to take your hand like this. Now, ooh, listen to that sound. That gives it some nice voicing and shaping versus just going like that. Now if you do that. Now the key is that while you're doing this, you have to keep steady. Okay? Like we don't want this to happen. Okay? That's just horrible. So none of that. So try to keep it as if like that, a nice movement. Now something I should be doing that I'm not, that I just realized, is there's a nice little rest here. See right there? That's a rest. So what we have to do, and then lift up. So it's sort of like a new thought. Okay, my thought is done. That's sort of like the follow-up thought, or maybe this was a question and that's an answer. Just like that. Okay, so the reason I spent so much time on that is because it's a huge part of the piece. Okay, so that is the right hand there. Now, let's get the left hand going on here. So for the very first bar here, so we go da 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 da. So now as we hit this note, okay, now I'm going to have to switch hands with the camera. The left hand comes in like this. Now we're going to play A, E, A. Now it's going to be not the first A below middle C, because here's middle C. It's going to be not this A, but the one right below it. So it goes A to the first E below middle C, and then to the first A below middle C. So like that. Now with this, again, you might not be able to reach this if you have small hands, But what I suggest doing, even if you have big hands, is roll into it like this. And I'm not talking about just from the hand, all the way back from the shoulder here, like. Just keep doing it until you get a really lovely, amazing sound. Okay, so that's the first part there. Then, the next chord you're going to do in the left hand is this one. You go E to E, and then as you do this, you're going to go like this, cross over and hit a G sharp. Now when you do this, it's important that they're steady and that there's no big bumps. So it's really flowing. Now how I do it is I come up like this, and then I feel like this, and then my hand lifts up, and as I'm going up, then I hit the note. So it's like one motion almost. I'm just going doon, doon like that. So in slow motion, it's like this. By the way, that's not a sound effect. I'm actually doing that with my throat. Anyway, so. Yeah, probably everyone hates me now. All my sound effects. So, just wave your arm up the keys just like that, okay? So I go 5, 5, and then I'm pulling my thumb in like this, see? And then as I do that, I'm coming up. Just like that. Now, that's basically all the right hand for the very first part, because it's just going like this. And then you do the same thing again. Ta-da! The whole right hand is done for the entire first section. That's all this part done, and all this. It's just those two patterns over and over again. So whenever you see this one, it's just da-da-da. Okay? Alright. So we've got the whole A thing going on here. And now I need to show you this one right here. So I'll do the right hand for that. So the right hand, if we're starting from here, it would be like this. So this is the second time we've gone through. Now we go like this. Okay, so it goes. Got it? Now I can't remember how I did that. Yeah, I used to put the 2 there. So how I do that? Now what I'll do next is I'll lift my hand off because there's a nice rest, and then I put my second finger on the B. Maybe I shouldn't do it that way. You guys are probably getting confused. So as I'm going through here, I've got the basic theme going on here. Then I do this whole thing here. So now I'm at this B right here. And then I have a rest, and then I play this. Rest. There we go. Now, depending on whether I'm going to go back up here or go forward, if I've done it the second time, I'm ending here, then I'm going to do a rest here, and then I go up. So I go. Now they have a 1 here, but I suggest using, oh wait a minute. Yeah, 1 is better. Way better. Actually, it doesn't really matter. You can use whichever you want. So 1 or 2, it doesn't really matter. Okay, anyway. So I'll show you how this all goes together when I do both hands together. Okay, now let's just do the right hand for the second section, which is only a line. And this is really easy. So this is how it works. So I'm starting from here, by the way. Okay, so I'm going here. So let's just say I use 1. So they're going to have me do this. So I go B, C, D, E. So I'm holding that. And then I do this. I put my thumb on the G. Like that. So I want you to do it for an exercise, practice doing this. All solid. As if all these notes are connected and glued together like they're one note. And then do this. Now why am I I doing that? Because, watch this. So basically this is the pattern. It doesn't sound pretty altogether, like solid, but I mean, just like that. So it's all about the arm movement here. Okay. Now the left hand for the second section goes like this. We are going to have basically, well, I'll start from there and it goes like this. It's pretty easy too. You're going to do this. And then. That's it. So you go C, G, C, B, G, C, B. So this one stays the same. These two move down like that. So it goes. So. And then you go, which is just the same as what you've been playing pretty much the whole first part. A, E, A. Easy, right? Okay, and that's it. Now we just have the last one little 2 bars or so, and then we're done, basically. Okay, so for this part, this is a 2-hander. Now, the fingering, well, I think I'm going to have to put this up on the camera stand now. So alright guys, so now this intense part here, I figured out some good fingering here. Now how it works is you go E, now this, well, I'll just play it first, it goes like this. Oh, let's look at this, this might help. So that's basically what I'm doing now. I'm teaching the part that was all leapy. So how this works, before we had the old fingering was you did like a 5 thing where your left hand's jumping, but in this way it doesn't have to, so it's way better, way faster, way easier. You'll notice a huge difference if you try it out. So here's how it works. All you're hitting are E's, that's it. You're actually hitting 5 E's, stretching from 2 E, like the second E below middle C, to the third E above middle C. Okay? So look for middle C, and that's how far your range is. So it's 3 E's above middle C and 2 E's below middle C. Okay, so how it works is you're going to hit the bottom C, the bottom E, then the one after that with your left hand, like that. Next, you're going to actually hit your right hand with the E on your thumb twice, like that, like that. Then once you've done that, then you're going to hit the E here. Then as you're moving this one, when you're playing this one, you're going to move your left hand up and take the place of where your thumb was, like that. So your left hand comes up, takes the place of it, then hits the octave, then it backs off, and then the right hand takes the last 2 E's, like that. So all together it goes. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that well. And then as you lift off here, keep your hand loose and then go. You're going to go back to the original E, but you're going to go 3 on D sharp and then 2 on E. Then you're going to lift off, and then your right hand's going to come and play, and then your left hand comes and play, and then your right hand comes back, and then you're done. Okay, now the very last part for the ending goes like this. So instead of hitting an E or anything, you're going to hit a D, and then C, B, and then A, and all the A's together, like this. But probably softer than that, like that. So it's going to be not the A right under middle C, but the A above it, and the second A below middle C, and the third A below middle C. So all together, I'll show you guys now. So one thing I want you to listen first for is this piece is written in 3/8 time. So that signifies that you want a strong downbeat. So this piece, on the very first beat, you're actually going to do a very slight accent, and you're going to use it to keep the rhythm in a sort of, it's going to use the rhythm, you're going to use it basically to tie the rhythm together. So listen for a small little accent on all my first beats, so like that. Now I go back. Now I could choose to basically, well, I pretty much have to keep going on, right, to loop it back around. I forgot that. Just like that. So I introduced the D at the end there, and then that finishes the piece off basically. So I just hit those two bottom ones right there. So I know I didn't actually play that perfectly actually. I had many mistakes in it, and I was like stylistically, not that good. But whatever. I'm not actually learning this piece, I just am giving a little bit of instruction on it. I used to play it, and I got first class honors in a competition that I played this in about, 7 or 8 years ago back in the day, but I actually don't remember this piece at all anymore, because it's been too long. But anyway, I do remember the ins and outs of it, more or less. So that is a quick version on Für Elise. Now if you're interested, you can keep going on, and it goes... something like that, and then it's got a really quick part like... I can't read that fast. There we go. Anyway, it just keeps going. But yeah, so there's a quicker part, and it's got a whole bunch of little interesting stuff in it. But for Für Elise, you want a very flowing sound, so make sure your hands go like this. Ah, that's so unsteady. See, 4 and 5 are the two weakest fingers, and they're actually joined together, and it's very hard to keep them like that. So that's why I was telling you guys at the start. It's much easier to say than do, right? I used to have it down, but I should probably practice it before I would actually be able to do it really good. But anyway, so what you want to do is keep that even. So this whole thing is leading to that note. See, all this, it's just note direction to here. And that's actually where the downbeats are occurring, so you want to do a slight accent on those notes. Now technically, if I was going to play this really good, I'd probably be doing a soft pedal. With no pedal, with no damper pedal. So that is Für Elise. If you guys enjoyed that, there's my tutorial on Für Elise. And yeah, good luck with that. It's a fun piece, and show off to your friends. Take care, guys.